In Malawi's capital city, Lilongwe, you can tune in on the radio to the call-in show Power to the Youth. It engages young people in issues of the day in Malawi. I got the inside scoop from VOA's Paul Ndiho. Check it out. How did you find out about this?
It's funny. I was driving. I had a guy who was taking me around. We were driving in town, and I had it was a repeat of the previous show. Then I asked the guy, "Where is this taking place?" He said, "Oh, it's hugely popular, a popular radio show that airs. It comes on every Wednesday." So we drove there, and just by listening to what these guys were talking about, I found it very, very interesting for young people to be talking about issues that affect them on a daily, day-to-day basis, from politics to education to civic education. It made me pause for a moment and say, you know what? I think these young guys are not waiting for their governments to come and do this for them. They have taken matters into their own hand, and they want to change the direction the direction of their country, because it's going to take them as young leaders or young Africans to change the course of the political dispensation in their own country. And the other thing that I also liked about the program is how interactive it is, because you had callers calling in from all over the country talking about different things, talking about corruption. They were also talking about how to engage the political leadership of that country, talking about how they can, for instance, Ebola, how they should be aware of Ebola, and talking about how it's a serious thing.
Another interesting thing that they're doing is enhancing the role of women in executive positions.
Yes, a lot of young women, traditionally, they don't engage in politics. So one of the things that this show is doing is to encourage these young girls, young women who want to play a role in politics to go for it, especially now that they've had a taste of power. They've had a president who was a female president, and I think that can only go so far, because these young girls are really, really interested in, some of them are really interested in joining politics and being a major players in their country.
20-888-500-222. 0-888.
Tell us a little bit about this unique concept called Young Politicians Union. What is this?
I think one of the things that they do is they do a lot of civic education. They are teaching these guys about what is it to be a citizen. It involves voting. And how do you vote? Some people don't know how to go to a polling station and vote. So they teach these young people how to engage in the voting process, because they look at it as the future leaders of this country. And the other thing that I found interesting is that they allow these young people to express their concerns. They talk about issues that affect them in their communities. They talk about what is it that the government hasn't done, or what is it that the government is doing.
Hello?
And how can they engage the government, the private sector, the civil society. Those are some of the things that they talk about on this show.
As I said, my studio guests are Linda Halawa.
How has been the response?
Like I said earlier, this show is hugely popular because it cuts across all genres, all generations, and because they podcast it on the social media. So from the studio, it's a live recording, or it's live. But from there, then the conversation continues on the social media.
So it's a wonderful platform, a learning platform, an interaction platform.
So there is a lot of interactions, even after the show is done, but the conversation continues on social media. People talking about things that were raised during the course of the show.
And thanks to Paul Ndiho for that.